Okay, hello, welcome to a DVD and Blu-ray update, which is going to be very long and very big. You can probably tell from the thumbnail and the length of this video that both of those are true. So, as I usually tend to do these days, I put off making the video too long, and then when I actually feel ready and motivated to make the video, it's gotten out of control all over again, and you can kind of again tell by the thumbnail that happened. I guess I just don't really have the same inspiration to make videos that I did, but I still enjoy making them whenever I do make them. And right now I'm pretty excited to talk about some stuff here that I bought recently. Yeah, it did take me a while to feel like making the video, so once again, lots and lots and lots of stuff, and lots of different stuff. So I'm going to sort of give a brief overview before we get started as to what we have here. So I thought that I would very meticulously put them in piles here in terms of genre and from where I got them and stuff like that. So we're gonna start with a few Blu-ray box sets from Arrow. Actually, one really nice box set, which you might have been able to see in the thumbnail, from Arrow, and then two smaller ones from Arrow Video, and then one from Arrow Academy too, and then a really nice two big complete series box sets, one on Blu-ray and one on DVD, and yeah, then a bunch of Amazon documentary purchases, and a few more Amazon random purchases, and flea market stuff, and let's see, a pile of random stuff from various Swedish places, one big pile of secondhand stuff, and then one pile of stuff that I've shown you before, but when I did, I hadn't seen them yet, so I'm going to briefly just offer my thoughts on those. So we're gonna start with the Blu-ray box sets that I mentioned, and then we'll see what we move on to after that. But first of all, maybe the nicest thing in this update. Oh, I should have put this closer, or I mean further away. Maybe that's better. No, it's not better. Well, anyway, the Phantasm set from Arrow, which is an incredibly nice set. This, now you can see me here, but this plastic sphere here, which is obviously a main theme from the movies. I mean, it's kind of cool, I guess, but I would maybe have preferred just a smaller set without the ball, and just the discs. You know, it's a nice set, but I'm guessing we paid quite a lot just for that, and I don't know if I really need it because it just takes up space, and I don't know. It is a nice looking box set though, so I'm happy to have it overall, but I mainly got this because of the content, and the content is great. I mean, we have all the movies, all the 5 movies. First one I had seen before. I had that on DVD, and I remember not liking it too much. So when they announced this, I was really excited because I thought that, well, this is my second chance to get into the movies again, or to get into the movies. And I checked out the first one for the second time, and I felt the same way about it that I did first time around, and I was so disappointed because I thought I would like it a lot more, and I just didn't. It's just, for me, too much plot and too much goofy stuff and not enough gore and effects, I guess. And that's where the second one comes in. Disappointed with the first one again, I decided to check out the second one, obviously, and I loved it because it's a different movie. It's more of an action movie, I guess, and it's more of a, I mean, the character Reggie really gets to shine from the second one. His character takes a bit of a new dimension in the second one, and he just becomes throughout this whole all these movies and all the hours and hours of special features, I just became such a big fan of the character of Reggie, or the actor Reggie Bannister, and he ended up being my favorite thing about this whole box set and this whole experience. But as I said, with the gore and the practical effects, that definitely picks up in the second one, which is why I loved the second one. Yeah, I really enjoyed the second one a lot, and not just because of that, but a lot because of the effects. Some stuff reminded me of like Nightmare on Elm Street type effects, and again, the character Reggie really gets to shine. And so that definitely ended up being my favorite, and then the other ones, they are enjoyable too. Of course, the fifth one is from 2016, if you can see the years here. We have 1979, 88, 94, 98, and 2016. What's really impressive about the series is that in the 1979 movie and the 2016 movie, the same four actors, that like the main ones, they're all in they're all in both of them. So like almost 40 years later, the same team of people, reunited for another movie, which is really unusual. I mean, that much later, for all the same people to be in the movie. A lot of people don't seem to like it, which I can understand, but it was enjoyable, I guess. But yeah, third and fourth were, for me, just okay. But the second one is my favorite. I do feel like after having seen them all, I will, whenever I do decide to get back to Phantasm 1, which now I kind of feel like I should do that. Not yet, but eventually. And when I do, I feel like I will have a different appreciation for it because of having seen all the rest of this stuff. And anyway, so really great box set and fun extras. Some of the documentaries were a little bit lacking compared to Arrow's previous releases, but overall, it's maybe one of their stronger releases, maybe. So I really enjoyed that. And then we have two Takashi Miike Trilogy Blu-rays, which I've had these for a while, and the reason why I haven't shown them yet is because I haven't. Well, I saw Shinjuku Triad Society and Rainy Dog, but not Lee Lines yet, and I haven't seen these yet. And I was gonna wait until I'd seen them before I shown them, but I just never really felt like continuing. I've seen the first one, Dead or Alive, before, and I really loved it, but I just haven't been able to get into them yet. I haven't found the time to see them yet, so I'm just gonna put that off for a while. And these two, to be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy them as much as I've enjoyed previous Takashi Miike movies, because with his movies, I just love the over-the-top nature of them, and these were a bit different. They're more serious in tone, and they were by no means weak. It just wasn't. It's just not what I like about Takashi Miike's movies. So they were a bit different, and maybe let me down slightly because of that. Anyway, so yeah, I've seen so many movies by this director in the same sort of ridiculous, comedic, gory style, and these were different and by no means bad. But when you expect one thing, I guess I don't know. But I will get to Lee Lyons eventually, and to the Dead or Alive movies. And when I do get to the Dead or Alive movies, I'm sure I will enjoy them a lot. Anyway, okay, and then we have the four Marx Brothers at Paramount. 5 movies: Coconuts, Animal Crackers, Monkey Business, Horse Feathers, and Duck Soup. I've seen all of these except for Coconuts before. I still haven't. I checked out which one? I think Animal Crackers I checked out again, and Horse Feathers. And I gotta say, I've seen them before, but it's been many years. I think it might have been 2009 that I saw them, maybe 2010. And Horse Feathers was one of those that I didn't really like as much back then. And I gotta say that I still didn't really like it that much. I just couldn't really get into it. I didn't find it that funny. But Animal Crackers is still a very funny movie. Monkey Business and Duck Soup I have seen twice before, so I don't know if I'm gonna check them out again. Although Duck Soup does have a commentary by Leonard Maltin, so I might listen to that. They all have commentaries, I think. At least most of them. But the one on Duck Soup with Leonard Maltin and someone named something Bader, I don't know who that is. I might listen to that because I do like Leonard Maltin. I do follow him on social media. And then there's the Marx Brothers Hollywood's Kings of Chaos, a feature-length documentary with Maltin and Dick Cavett and others. So I might check that out. But for now, I've seen a couple of these from this set at least, and I think I might wait until I return to the rest. Coconuts. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem having a Marx Brothers movie that I have never seen before, so I might wait until I get to it. But anyway, it's a great set, but I do feel like I enjoyed the Marx Brothers more in the past than what I did now. I do have a really great appreciation and respect for them. I've seen a lot of their stuff and TV appearances and stuff, and I do like the characters a lot, but the comedy of the movies, at least those two that I saw now again, I just didn't appreciate it quite as much as I did before. But anyway, so that's the Marx Brothers. I am a big fan of the Marx Brothers, ultimately. Then one of the two complete TV sets that I have is Sopranos. Really glary, still sealed. I got this for my birthday. I love this show. I've seen it once all the way through, and it is really one of the best drama shows that I've ever seen. Yeah, I wanted this for my birthday a couple months ago, 2.5 months ago, and I was happy to get it. I'm not planning on returning to it immediately, but I really wanted to have this on Blu-ray because of the better quality, and just to have a more compact set with all the seasons, and to get the special features that I'm pretty sure I haven't seen before. I don't think all of the special features that are included here were included on the DVD sets. So I'm happy with this. Whenever I decide to return to that show, I'm sure I will enjoy it a lot all over again. And then we have a show that I could go on about, and we'll see if I do, but I feel like I should be brief about this. Yeah, anyway, it's a Danish show called Clown. Complete series. This is a Danish release, but it does have English subtitles on the episodes. There's a lot of extras on this. I mean, really impressive amount of extras, but unfortunately it's in Danish without subtitles, and I don't really understand Danish very well. At least not you know, talking Danish. I can read Danish fairly well, but so I haven't seen all the extras, but I did buy this for the show. I got this on a Swedish website. It's not that easy to find. Maybe it is in Denmark, I don't know, but it hasn't been that easy for me to find this, but I've really been interested in seeing it. And I found a Swedish seller on a Swedish store, Swedish online, like an eBay store, who had it, and for a really good price, and so I just decided to buy it. And it's a Danish comedy show inspired by Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is one of my favorite shows. Actually, recently, in preparation for season 9 that's coming out on October 1st, which I might make a video, maybe not, but I might talk about it at least in some video in the future. In preparation for that, I watched all 8. I ended up watching all 8 seasons again of Curb on HBO. And this show is definitely similar to Curb Your Enthusiasm. I can see how they borrowed a lot of the stuff from Curb. I'm not really gonna go in depth about how they've done that, but just a lot of stuff are similar. And it's a pretty funny show. After a while, the characters, maybe not the main guy, he's sort of the equivalent. Well, he is the equivalent of the Larry David character in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He does play himself, and he's a comedic writer, much in the same way as Curb, you know. But but with the exception of him, a lot of the other characters, they really got on my nerves after a while, especially this guy who's the other starring actor, and I just couldn't enjoy it as much anymore, so I had to kind of put it away for a while and then come back to it. But ultimately, I did like this show. It's nowhere near as good as Curb Your Enthusiasm, in my opinion, but maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it's still a very, very entertaining show. That I'm happy to have this, and Arrow did release the clown movie, which I believe I ordered that. I say I believe that's a different video, but I think I did. Anyway, and then there's a second movie also called Clown Forever. So yeah, now what? Well, let's continue with some of the stuff from Swedish stores. A lot of Blu-rays, a lot of new Blu-rays. I think I'm gonna start with those, and then there's some random stuff. Just give me a moment. Okay, we have 5 Blu-rays, 5 new movies, or, well, I had all these pre-ordered. No, actually, only 4 of them. Yeah, 4 of these are pre-orders. First, A Monster Calls. I actually turned this off, which I don't normally do with movies, but I couldn't really get into this. I mainly bought this because of Sigourney Weaver. I mean, that's the reason how I found out about it, and I thought it sounded good, so I pre-ordered it, and then I received it, and it took me a while to check it out. And when I did, I just wasn't in the mood for this. I couldn't get into it. It's sort of a story with stories in it, and just the way that they did that, I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't focus on the individual stories that was told within the movie, and I felt like I was not gonna get anything out of it at the moment, so I turned it off, and I might get back to it, but I kinda doubt it. And it doesn't happen too often that I do that. But anyway, Nocturnal Animals with Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal. Really good, tense, kinda disturbing, or a fairly disturbing, brutal movie by Tom Ford. I think he did A Single Man, is that what it's called, a few years back. This was very good. Not one of the absolute best movies from last year, but a very good one. And then we have The Great Wall, which I can see why people didn't like. But yeah, overall, it was. I didn't really like the third act of the final sort of battle. That I didn't really like that. But the first 2 ones were pretty good. Overall, pretty enjoyable. It's definitely a flawed movie. I feel like when foreign directors who might not know English very well are gonna direct American productions, or I don't know if this is an American production really, but it is with American actors, at least some of them. There is some stuff that don't really work. I mean, I'm guessing maybe that there needs to be a translator on set, and maybe everything just isn't. Maybe just the collaboration don't work out when the director and the actors can't communicate directly, which, you know, I don't even know if that's the case here. I mean, it's directed by Chang Yimou. I don't know how well he speaks English, but it just seems to be that way when Asian directors direct American actors. There's always something that don't quite work the same way. The acting seems to be a bit more cheesy most of the time. I don't know, it's just something I've noticed over the, I admit, few movies that I've seen in that category, but I don't know, there was something about this movie that definitely didn't work, but overall it was an entertaining movie, I suppose. Then we have a very good movie, I, Daniel Blake by Ken Loach, which I really liked. Yeah, I don't know how to sum it up. It's a really just a great drama. Yeah, this is one of those cases where I could go in depth, but if I did, it would take me a long time to talk about everything that I want to say. So it's kind of hard to sum it up briefly. But it's a really great drama with a strong, realistic tone. Some scenes that are done and played out in a very natural way, which I feel like directors don't usually allow movies to play out that way, or just some mundane stuff that I really appreciate. Some really great acting. Really liked that movie a lot. Then actually, this was part of a few movies that I bought on sale. I think I bought 5. Yeah, I think these are 4 out of the 5 ones that I bought. I might as well show you all of them, even though I haven't seen them all. The 5th one is a Swedish movie that I'm going to include in a separate video with a bunch of Swedish stuff that I'm doing eventually. The movie that I saw was Office Christmas Party. By the way, I should mention these movies were from I bought these movies at a physical store, which I don't normally do except for secondhand stuff. But I was just going to buy some candy, and they had it's sort of like a candy slash movie store. And it's been around for a long time, and now over the past few years the candy has overtaken the movies more and more. And now they don't really have a lot of movies anymore, which is a bit sad, but it's just the way it goes, I suppose. But they did have a summer sale going, and I just decided to check out. I knew about that, and I decided to, while I was there, I just checked out the sale. And I did actually find a few movies, and yeah, Office Christmas Party was one of them. And I watched it that same night actually, but it wasn't very good. I didn't expect it to be that good, but they just didn't seem to be able to do a lot with the plot or with the idea of this Christmas party happening, which is not a very original idea, sure, but they should have been able to do more with it nonetheless. So it was not very good. Mainly I just bought it for Jennifer Aniston. I don't know, I just like getting movies with her. Anyway, Suicide Squad. Yeah, this is the price I paid. Haven't seen this yet, and the reason why it took me until now to get it is simply because I just wasn't that interested in the DC movies until now. I guess after I saw Wonder Woman, which I was extremely tired in the movie theater when I saw it, so it affected my viewing experience. But I did really like it. And because I liked it, I felt like I wanted to go back and see Suicide Squad. So that's why I got this. Then we have the BFG by Spielberg, which is a movie that I've been wanting to see ever since first hearing about it. I did talk with a friend about this before it was coming out, and I mentioned the fact that I kind of wanted to see it, but then I just never did. But now I can. So I think I'll enjoy this. Spielberg's next movie though looks incredible, at least judging by the trailer. We'll see, I guess. But Ready Player One. So that's probably where most of the focus in terms of Spielberg is going to be right now. But I'm looking forward to the BFG too. And then I picked up Silence, which I paid 99 crowns for. It was available for members for that price. Yeah, Scorsese's latest. I'll check this out. I don't know when I will, but I did want to buy this for that price. And then to a bunch of other various random purchases that I got from Swedish places. The Hunt, Danish movie from a few years ago, which I loved when I saw it, and I definitely wanted to own the Blu-ray, so I finally got around to getting that. And then to yeah, I was gonna say I was sitting here thinking about whether I should show those also, but I think I'm gonna wait. But I bought these along with a bunch of other Blu-rays from CD-ON. They were part of an offer, and these were two that I didn't own yet, as part of these recent superhero movies, Civil War and Deadpool. Part of the MCU here. I do like collecting those movies. And then Deadpool, I guess outside of the MCU, but still Marvel. And I saw this in the movie theater too, and liked it, and I want to own it. And I like watching the extras for these movies too, so I'm happy to add these two to the collection. I haven't seen them again, obviously, since they're sealed, but I did like both of them in the movie theaters, especially Civil War. And then I was really happy to find a seller uploaded this, or a seller had this for auction, a Chinese ghost story, the whole trilogy of movies on Blu-ray, which I don't know exactly the quality of this box set, what the picture quality is and stuff like that. But I had no idea that there was even a Blu-ray box set available, because I only knew about the first movie. And I sort of had a saved search for a Chinese ghost story to find out if somebody had the Blu-ray for sale, because it seemed to be expensive from Amazon. And then somebody had this one day, And yeah, I didn't even know that there were a second and a third movie, but I found out about the first one recently, and it just sounded like so much fun. So I wanted to see it, but I couldn't really find, you know, a good Blu-ray for a cheap price. But yeah, then I found this, which is an English-friendly release, and I haven't seen them yet, and I might not get to them quite yet. But I'm really happy to have this. I was sort of waiting for a proper release, kind of hoping that one day, maybe not too long, one of these companies would pick up a Chinese ghost story, and maybe that's gonna happen. But hopefully, until then, I will have got into these movies. Otherwise, I will feel like I've wasted my money with this. If a better release is coming up, because that does happen on occasion, I suppose. But no, I'm really happy to have this set, and I didn't pay too much for it. But I think I'll enjoy these movies whenever I get to them. Then just a few random things here. All About Eve on DVD. A friend of mine gave this to me, and I don't know if I'll really get to it anytime soon. But it was nice of him to give it to me. Some movies that I don't have too much to say about, that I got from, I think, yeah, I got these from ginsa.se, very cheap. Celeste and Jesse Forever, a loved story. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy this. I actually turned it off, which once again, same thing I said about a Monster Calls. I don't do that often, but with this one I did also. I just couldn't get into it. All or Nothing, a Mike Leigh film. To me, not one of his best. It was a bit dull, to be honest. I mean, I said about I, Daniel Blake, that the mundane stuff is something that I really love in movies. And this movie is definitely mundane, but I don't know if it was in the right way. I liked it, but it was not, to me, not one of the better ones from him that I've seen. And then a pretty obscure movie, Gloria. I don't even know. I think it might be a Chilean movie from Chile. If I'm wrong, then I'll just put a text here, but I think it might be. And to be honest, it's a fairly forgettable film, but it was still a good drama. I mean, I think in a few years I will not really have a lot of memory of this at all, but maybe even a few months. I mean, to me it was just fairly forgettable. Nothing really about it that stood out, but still well acted by the main actress, and you know, a good drama. I did like it. I would say that if you like your dramas, your foreign dramas, and you watch a lot of them, then that one might be one that you might want to see. Okay, then I think we're gonna move on to some Amazon stuff. A bunch of Amazon stuff, but mainly actually documentary titles. Okay, but let's start with the few that are not documentary. Call the Midwife. This is a series that I didn't really need to get, because it turns out that it's on Netflix. At least it was when I checked. Sometimes they remove things from Netflix, and so it's not completely reliable. And DVDs are reliable, but I still feel like I shouldn't have bought this because it's on Netflix right now, and I'm not gonna get to this quite yet. So when I do decide to get to it, if it's still on Netflix, then I'll just watch it there. If it's not, I guess I'll be happy that I bought this, but I guess we'll see. But I saw one episode of this with my cousin and her mom. Yeah, when I was up at the Stockholm archipelago, I usually visit them almost every year, and they have a bit of a different taste in movies and TV shows and stuff than what I do. And this felt like one of those typical British shows that they would watch, and so they had one episode on, and I saw that, and I did quite enjoy it. And it is with Miranda Hart, and I recently got her sitcom, which I don't think I've shown that either, but I guess I'll get to that whenever I have had time to actually watch it. So a couple of reasons why I wanted to see this. Not normally my kind of thing, but I did want to give it a chance, and I suppose I could come back to that whenever I have seen it, whether on Netflix or DVD. Then we have 2 movies by the Iranian director Asghar Farhadi. This one I think I've talked about before because I had put this on my shelf, but it's unopened, so I haven't seen it. Well, I mean I have, but not since I bought it on Blu-ray. I'm showing this again because I bought that, so I thought that I might as well just bring this down and briefly talk about it again, because this is the reason why I got this. I love this movie. It's been a while since I saw it. I saw this when it was new, around the Oscar time. Whenever this was, I think this won the Oscar. Yeah, right there. So I watched it around that time, and I loved it. And I have a pretty strong memory of it, because it's such a great drama. And I have been wanting to see this again pretty much ever since, to be honest, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But I did buy the Blu-ray, so I will sit down to check this out again eventually. And this one I'm happy to have. I'll probably check this out pretty soon, because this was his next movie, The Past, from 2013. Now he's made a movie called The Salesman, which is his newest one, which I'll probably be getting pretty soon also, because I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy this. It's not supposed to be quite as strong as A Separation, but I'm pretty sure I'll like it. If it's anything like A Separation, then I'll like it a lot. Yeah, anyway, so even though I've only seen A Separation by this director, and that's it, I feel like he's one of the more interesting, well, there's a lot of them. I mean, we're living in a good time for movies right now, I think. But he's one of the most interesting, at least one of the most interesting foreign directors that I know of right now. Yeah, and that says a lot about A Separation, you know, that being the only movie of his that I've seen. But I am really happy to finally have this. I've been wanting to get this on Blu-ray for a long time now, and finally I did. So I think I'll get to this pretty soon, and then on to The Salesman. And then he has a bunch of other movies that he made before A Separation. Anyway, then we have a movie that I saw in a fellow Swede on here, one of his videos on here on YouTube. Junkmaster 3, he had this one, where he had the DVD, I think, but the way he talked about this, I think he had it in his maybe top 5 of the month or something like that. And it sounded really interesting, so I definitely, I just went on Amazon and I bought it on Blu-ray. From director Emilio Estevez, starring Martin Sheen. He's in it himself, Emilio Estevez, but he plays the son of Martin Sheen. He is his son in real life, and I think he seems to, I went on IMDb, and I think one of the movies that he directed before this also stars Martin Sheen, with Emilio Estevez as his son. So they've played father and son in more movies than in this one. And Martin Sheen has also played Charlie Sheen's father in the sitcom Anger Management. So he's played the father to both of his sons, or maybe he has more children, I don't know. But that's kind of funny, I guess. But anyway, to get back to this movie, it's the whole movie is set off by the death of Emilio Estevez as he walks the way. I think that's what it was called in the movie, The Way, from France down to Spain somewhere maybe. It's this big kind of pilgrimage or whatever that people go on. Maybe it exists in real life, I don't know. But Emilio Estevez was gonna walk that walk, and he died on the way. And Martin Sheen on the way, yeah. And Martin Sheen, his father, finds out about this, and he goes to pick up the ashes or whatever it was, and then he decides to finish the walk for his son, which is a sweet premise. And it does feel like an independent movie, even though it has a couple big names. Also James Nesbitt, who you might know from either Cold Feet or The Hobbit. And then it has a Canadian and a Dutch character also in the movie who kind of follows them along. Or who follows Martin Sheen along. And it has the feel of an independent movie. And I like these movies. I mean, the reason why I got this immediately is because I love movies that take place on the go, or if you know what I mean, like, well, just adventure movies or road movies or movies that move. you know, movies that have the characters move constantly, and you just, I mean, that's why I love travel documentaries and nature documentaries, because you get to see the world, and you definitely do get to see the world in this. But I did feel like it could have been, I don't, it just felt very kind of plain, or the way it was filmed and the way it was told, it was a bit generic, I guess, in lack of a better word. They could have done more with it to me. It was a bit dull in some places, and I didn't love the characters. It was a bit typical, the dialogue and the camaraderie, or the lack of camaraderie sometimes. It was a bit typical, I guess, but or cliched, if you will. But I did end up quite liking it, but I didn't love it. I mean, this has a lot of extras, which I was, you know, as a collector, happy to see when I got the Blu-ray, but I didn't bother to check out the extras, which for me is usually a sign that I didn't love the movie. If I really like a movie, then I'm gonna definitely check out the extras. But anyway, but it was a good film, and if you like road movies and stuff like that, I'd say check it out. But for me, it's not one of the best. Then we have a movie that I've been wanting to see, truly been wanting to see this one for a really long time, and this is Gummo by Harmony Korine, which it's a bit of a notorious movie. It's not really about much. It's about a bunch of strange characters, almost told in a docudrama way, around this small town. Let's see. What does it say? Was it after in the aftermath of a tornado? Yeah. And it's a really good little drama, kind of dark movie. I got into this more and more as it went on too. So yeah, I can see why this has a following. It's a kind of bizarre movie, but a very enjoyable one. Oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to all of this in this video, because I mean, I'm gonna try, but I'm gonna have to be pretty brief about all the secondhand stuff and the stuff that I've shown before. Anyway, all right. But now to the documentaries from Amazon. Actually, this one I found at a secondhand store. J.R.R. Tolkien, Master of the Rings. Haven't seen this yet, but it was a documentary that I found about Lord of the Rings, and I like the movies a lot, so I got that. And then because of that, I just went on Amazon and I bought some cheap DVDs about Lord of the Rings 2 documentaries. Lord of the Fans, this one I've known about for a long time. Finally saw it, and I really enjoyed it. Not too much to say, but it's about it's about fans of Lord of the Rings for the most part. Well done, fun documentary. And then I got these two National Geographic DVDs about the first one and then the third one. There doesn't seem to be one about the second one. I mean, I don't know if I needed to get this, because everything you want to know about the making of Lord of the Rings are probably on the DVDs, or you know, the Blu-rays, the making of. But these were so cheap, and I just decided to get them, and I'll check them out eventually. They're not very long. This one is only 52 minutes apparently. This one I don't know, but fun little documentaries to own, I guess. I haven't really seen anything by National Geographic, so I don't know how their stuff is, how their documentaries are. But yeah, I just got those now. I'll get to them eventually. Then the rest of the documentaries here, The Wolf Pack, which was really cheap. For some reason, it was like $1.70 for a sealed Blu-ray. With this one, I knew quite a lot about this before. It's about a bunch of brothers who were sort of locked into their New York apartment by their father. He was very, I guess he was scared that things would happen to them if they ventured outside or whatever, and he was very strict about going outside, and so they were homeschooled and lived like at least like 99.9% of their lives is in the apartment. Like they very rarely went outside, and it's about them. And for me as a film fan, I also was attracted to this because they, to sort of pass the time or to learn about life or whatever, to learn about the world, they would watch movies, and they would their father would bring home movies for them too, and their mother lived there too, and he would bring home a bunch of movies and for them to watch, and so they watched movies and became big fans of movies, all these brothers, and they reenacted scenes from movies. So that's what it's about, and I knew about that for a few years, or I don't know, well, maybe not that long, but since I heard about their story, I knew about that, and I knew about the documentary, and I wanted to see this, and I'm glad that I finally did, but I feel like I knew almost as much about their story before seeing the movie as I did after, which I can't say is a compliment to the movie, but I guess it could also mean that I simply maybe the marketing of the movie was good, or maybe I just simply heard a lot about the movie before. Maybe it doesn't necessarily mean that it's badly told, because it's not. I just feel like there could have been more in it. Like, I didn't know enough about like the father's intentions, I guess, and there were a few things that I kind of wanted to have had maybe a little bit more explored. But it was a good documentary for sure. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to be unfair with it, but I do feel like yeah. Anyway. Then we have a documentary called Life in a Day, which I've seen before, and I just kind of wanted to own this. So just one day, I guess pretty random, something reminded me of this, and I just went on Amazon and I bought a used, very cheap copy on DVD. A bunch of extras here. Well, actually not. It looks like it's more than it actually is, but there is an audio commentary. Actually, there's two commentaries, so that's quite a lot. But the other extras, they weren't all that interesting. But I haven't listened to the commentaries, and I haven't seen this again since I bought it, but I did watch this when it came out, maybe 2011, something like that. It's about it's a really cool concept. It gathers a bunch of personal sort of home movie clips from a bunch of people around the world, filmed on the very same day. So you get an idea of how much goes on in one day, I guess. I mean, or you just become aware of the activities around the world in a very interesting way, I suppose. And I haven't seen it since then, but I still remember the movie, or the feeling of the movie, I guess, as just as a good documentary. Anyway, so I'd recommend this for sure if you like documentaries. Then we have one called The Devil and Daniel Johnston, about this, seems to have been a very popular singer-songwriter, whose music, at least what was demonstrated in the movie, I really did not like, I have to say. But he's had troubles with bipolar disorder, and so it's about him and his life. And I prefer my documentaries a bit more raw, I suppose. This one is a bit of a montage type documentary, mixes together a lot of different stuff, and it's well done. It's a good documentary, but I feel like I wanted to hear more from him himself. I mean, he does seem to have his problems for sure, so maybe he didn't really want to be on camera too much, or maybe he didn't want to be interviewed a whole lot, and that's understandable. It's still a very good documentary. You mainly hear from other people though talking about him. But it's not my favorite style of documentary filmmaking, but ultimately a good one. But I think the level to which this movie has been praised, if that makes sense, it just didn't feel like it lived up to that for me. But I'm sure most people would maybe appreciate it more, because it is one that a lot of people talk about as a very good documentary. But I didn't maybe see that. But it was well made, but it wasn't my favorite kind of documentary. Now this next one is a very good example of what is my favorite, or what my favorite type of documentary would be, and that is American Movie, which is just a camera following around some very interesting, eccentric people, and that's it really. It's the making of a movie. I'm sure you've heard about this. It's the making of this horror movie, and very interesting, colorful characters. Especially this guy trying to put the movie together, and when his friend kind of follows him around, or follows him in his quest to do that, I guess. And it's sort of like one of those almost the camera was at the right place at the right time kind of things, and almost too good to be real. I mean, it's too entertaining to be real life. That's what it feels like. So what they captured for this documentary is just so immensely entertaining. I guess I know where I got that from, huh? Yeah, but it is though. It is immensely entertaining. A really good documentary that I have seen before, but it's been many years, so I was happy to see that again. And then I picked up A Long Way Down, travel. I mentioned my love for travel documentaries. This is sort of like a follow-up to one that they did. These two, you can see the names here, called Long Way Round, where they went around the world on their motorbikes for I don't know how long, but this one is a very similar travel documentary, where they go from Scotland, instead of Scotland, traveling kind of through Europe and Asia and Siberia and then America. They go from Scotland and south down through Europe and mainly Africa. So most of this take place in Africa, and it's obviously a very fascinating continent. And I think, if anything, you will see that it's a very diverse continent. I mean, if a lot of people tend to look at Africa as a country, well, this will show to you that it's not. It's a lot of different countries and a lot of different cultures. But I enjoyed it a lot. It's the same thing as Long Way Round. I mean, maybe not quite as good, but it's still the same thing. And I think if you enjoyed Long Way Round, you will enjoy this. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. Alright, after a quick change of batteries, we are back. Or you're still here, I'm back. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the second-hand stuff. I found Cube Zero, and because I found this, I picked up on Amazon. But I thought that I'd show this with this Cube 2 Hypercube, which I've never seen before. I have seen Cube Zero, and I've seen the first one called Cube. So Cube and that obviously Cube is the first one, then Cube 2 Hypercube, second one, and then Cube Zero the third one. This is the first one that I saw. This is sort of like the first real horror movie I saw, in a way, or at least one of them. I saw this with a cousin of mine like a decade ago, almost. I think it might have been a decade ago, up at that same archipelago place that I mentioned before, which is very close to my heart, which is why I tend to mention it a lot. And also, I've just been there so many times and watched so many movies while being there, so it's naturally comes up a lot when I do talk about movies, I suppose. But so this is one of them that I saw with him, and I remember the first scene, such a disgusting, gory scene, really standing out. I mean, it was unlike anything that I had seen at that time, because I had never really dared to check out the horror genre so it was a new thing for me, I guess, and I really enjoyed it. Enjoyed seeing this disgusting, gory scene, and I remember him kind of turning away in disgust. So because of that, this movie has always been not important to me, but it's been I don't know, just good memories, I suppose, and it sort of stood out to me, not because it's a great movie, but just because of having seen it there around that time, and everything that happened. Anyway, around the same time. But so I found this at a second-hand store, and I decided to pick it up. And because I owned the first one, Cube, I just went ahead and ordered this on Amazon. So I'll do a marathon of them one of these days. Then we have 2 TV series, both British. One is a drama, and it's called Cranford, which I actually didn't buy for me. I bought this to sell on, but then it just, I don't know. I mean, this was a long time ago, and back then I kind of took a chance with buying some stuff that I thought might sell. I think I got this very cheap too. Then just when I got home, I guess I realized that okay, I'm not gonna bother selling this because it's not really worth much. These days I have an iPhone, so I can look up stuff in the store online, which I couldn't do before because I was very late to the iPhone game or the smartphone game. But now I can, so I don't make those mistakes anymore. But back then I did, or a year ago, whatever I did. But I decided to keep it because it did sound like a pretty good show actually, so I'll get to this eventually. It's with Judi Dench, Michael Gambon too apparently, Imelda Staunton. So yeah, and then this one I was really happy to find, Jeeves and Wooster. The price tag said 45 crowns, but she only charged me 20 for this, which is like $2 US, which is a good deal for this for sure. A complete series of Jeeves and Wooster with Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie. I've never seen this, but I've been wanting to, so I was happy to find that. And then a bunch of live DVDs. First one is called it's Gyllene Tider. It's a Swedish band from my hometown actually. This show from 2004 I actually saw. This DVD combines a few different shows into one, I guess, and I saw it obviously in my hometown because whenever they tour, they always play here. Being from here, actually, the bass player was married to, maybe still is, I don't know, but he was married to, at least living together with the mom of one of my classmates, so I did see him around school and stuff. This is a huge band in Sweden. I think it's probably considered one of the biggest pop bands of all time. Maybe not very well known overseas, but Per Gessle, who is the vocalist, he is also the frontman of the band Roxette and the songwriter for the band Roxette. They're a bit more well known overseas, so you might know him from that band. So yeah, it's extremely. I could go on about that band to say the least, but extremely nostalgic for me, being from this city and having listened to them in my, through my childhood and stuff like that. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to pick that up and check it out again. Again, meaning since I saw it live in 2004. Then we have a bunch of metal stuff, just random stuff. Metal Blast from the Past. I want to kind of try to beef up my music DVD collection, especially the metal stuff, because I've never really tried to do that. I've just gotten one now and then for the past decade, and I don't really have too many considering I've been buying them for a decade. But so I want to try maybe to find more of them, and Accept is not a favorite band, but it was cheap, so I thought why not. And same with this, Twisted Sister live at Wacken, the reunion. Never really liked that kind of classic metal, but anyway, I think I'll enjoy the show if I do decide to check it out. Nightwish, End of Innocence. Not a fan of this band either. Why do you buy these DVDs if you're not a fan of the bands? Because they were cheap, and I am sure I will enjoy the shows. I do like the band Within Temptation, which is a symphonic metal band with a female vocalist, so maybe I would like Nightwish if I gave them a chance, I don't know. This band I do like, however, I've seen them live once or maybe twice, I don't know. Volbeat. I don't know if this came with a slipcover or if it's supposed to be like this, but anyway, it doesn't matter, I guess. Well, it does, but I'm trying to look at it that way. Volbeat is a cool band mixing together heavy metal or alternative metal, maybe in some cases, with like rockabilly music. and I used to like them a lot some years ago, but then I guess they stopped being interesting at a certain point. But this looks like a good DVD, a live show and a 2-hour documentary, so I'll enjoy that. And then a bunch of very random DVD purchases, also from secondhand stores. Reality Bites, I saw this a few days ago, I enjoyed it. Picked up The Lion King 3 on Blu-ray. I'm trying to collect all the Disney and Pixar movies, so... Okay, I had to take a break, so that has probably resulted in the loss of some light, but I think it should be fine anyway. So let's continue on. I know for a fact that this video is going to be very long by now, so I'm going to be quick, like I said. I believe I said that I'm going to have to be quick with the second-hand stuff. First one is a 1980 47-minute long animated, I guess, Christmas movie called Gnomes. Completely different title in Swedish. For a while I thought that this was a Swedish movie actually, but it's not. But it does seem to have been pretty popular in Sweden. I think when they released this on DVD, a lot of people were happy because they had seen it when they were little or whatever, and they wanted to see it again. And I don't really know what it is personally. Man, I'm stuttering a lot now. But I found it cheap. So this one I kind of regretted buying for a while, because I thought that, well, this is on Blu-ray. Why did I buy the DVD? But now I'm thinking it doesn't really matter, because I only bought this for the extras anyway. I don't really want to see the movie again. But this has a really long documentary, because yeah, 4-discer. So I really only bought this for the extras, so I don't really need to see those in high definition. But yeah, I bought this a long time ago, quite a long time ago, I think last year in December, actually. So just haven't showed it to you yet. But I'm looking forward to seeing the extras of that. And then we have a DVD that I don't really know exactly why I bought this, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. I mean, I want to see this movie. This is the only one out of that trilogy of this one, Old Boy and Lady Vengeance, that I haven't seen. But I kind of want them on Blu-ray, so I don't know exactly why I bought this. I don't really remember. But anyway, I haven't seen it yet. And because I'm collecting Evil Dead stuff, I guess I am. I got this, I think, is it a German DVD of Army of Darkness? Just a different cover, kind of cool. She's All That, really shitty movie. I don't think I watched all of this. It's been a long time since I bought this. For whatever reason, I haven't shown it to you yet. Yeah, I used to watch these kind of late 90s, early 2000 teen comedies when I was little, and really liked them. And this is one that I saw, but I don't really remember anything from it now, seeing it again, or seeing most of it again anyway. But yeah, it wasn't very good. War Games, very enjoyable, kind of half sci-fi, 80s teen thriller movie. It's hard to classify, but Matthew Broderick is in this, and he did a good job, and it was for the most part, a very entertaining movie. And then one that I expected to like more than I did, Casino Royale. Now I do realize that this is the fourth time in this video that I've said that I turned it off, because I did turn this off too, and I also said that I don't normally do that. So I guess it's just a coincidence that I happen to have 4 movies in this video that I turned off. But I did turn this one. You know what? I see a 5th one. Maybe I do it more often than I think, but I don't know. I don't do it that often. I think it's mainly a coincidence. But there is actually a 5th one in the pile that I turned off, oddly enough. Anyway, Casino Royale, the one from the 60s, I guess a Bond spoof. I couldn't really get into it, to be honest. And then the other one that I turned off was The Quiet American. Brendan Fraser, Michael Caine. This is one of those movies that, even though it's not that old, it's from 2002, it feels very dated. So I couldn't really get into it, and the DVD quality was pretty bad. We got one called, where's the original title? I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but that's the original title right there. I don't really have too much to say about it, but it's a drama. A bit of an unusual film, I guess. A few really touching scenes, but ultimately I didn't love it, but it was good. Then Convoy by Sam Peckinpah. Very enjoyable movie. It has all these trucks driving in a convoy, and I don't remember the plot, to be honest, but this, I think is, Ernest Borgnine plays a cop who's trying to hunt down or to stop this guy played by Chris Christopherson, who's driving his truck, and then people join him because I think they hear about it in the news or something like that, and they join him. They drive behind him in their trucks, just random people who want to support him and whatever, and it becomes this big thing. And it's a very enjoyable movie, actually, I gotta say. This one I was not a big fan of for whatever reason. Working Girl, good cast, but for whatever reason I wasn't really a big fan of it. Then we have a Danish movie called, well, I don't know what the English title of this is, but the translation would be Old Men in New Cars. This is the Swedish title, but I think the Danish title might be the same. This was very enjoyable. It's a Danish comedy crime movie. Also has a Swedish actor that I've liked a lot since the days when he was in that movie, Cops, and another early comedy in his career. So that was cool to see him in this. Anyway, good movie. Movie by Werner Herzog from a couple years ago, Queen of the Desert, with Nicole Kidman. I don't think this is supposed to be that good, but I couldn't resist getting it for the price it was, because I do like Herzog. And I don't know what to say about this. This is Ball Attack Part 2, anime show. Part 2 I used to own, I guess it's a fairly funny story. I don't know if this show, it says with Swedish language. But I'm guessing it's not a Swedish show. I don't know, I guess it's probably a Japanese show. I don't know. But it's an anime show, and I used to have the VHS for part 1 probably. So I don't think I ever saw part 2. But I had that when I was really little. That's one of the first things I remember watching, I think. Because I was like 6 years old, and I had a birthday party. And I don't remember a lot from that, but I do remember. It's like this snapshot in my memory, or whatever. And we were gonna watch a movie, and I kind of gave them, my friends, a few examples or suggestions, and they kind of turned them down. And then I said, I brought out Ball Attack, and I said Ball Attack, and my description of the movie was a robot. So, and then everybody after that, me saying Ball Attack, a robot, and everyone said, yeah, let's watch that. So that was enough to convince them to see it. It's about a robot, which it is. And I really liked this when I was a kid, but you'll like anything as a kid that you watch. So I don't know if that means a lot, but I did buy part 1 a few years ago and watched it for fuck's sake, watched it again. And it was very familiar, but not too enjoyable these days. So this one I bought like last year also, just because, and I don't know if I'll ever watch it. But now I have part 2. Now to the stuff that, if you remember, I said that I do have a pile of stuff that I have shown before, but I hadn't seen them then, so I'll just go through these, talk about them briefly. So I watched Yvonne's Childhood from the Tarkovsky box set that I had recently, which I think might have been his first full-length film. A very good film, maybe his most accessible film. I mean, there's still a few of his that I haven't seen, but it was very good. Some really great cinematography and just scenery towards the end. really well done, and overall a good movie, but not my favorite Tarkovsky. And then 3 from my last video, the Amazon.com unboxing. I checked out Shram by Jörg Buttgereit. Good movie. I do like the Death King more, and I probably like Necromantic 2 more also. I expected to like this one more than the Necromantic movies, but I'd say I probably appreciate Necromantic 2 a little bit more than this. There were a few things I had a problem with in this. A few things I feel like they could have added or done differently, but it's a good German art house horror movie released by Cult Epics. I've become a pretty big fan of that distribution company, even though I only own 3 of their releases. But there are a couple more that I would really like to get from Cult Epics. Then I checked out. This was the first one I saw from that package of DVDs and Blu-rays, Being Different. When I comment on, I said that this sounds like an exploitation documentary, if there's such a thing, because it's about people who have various what the fuck is the word? Deformities? I don't know, but like for example here, a guy who looks like that, and a guy who has no legs, and a bearded woman, or she's called the Ape Woman, I think. I mean, it might be a bit. I don't know if they would make a documentary like this today. It might be a bit dated. It's from 1980, but concerning the exploitation, it says here, which I didn't see when I showed it to you last time. It says that it's almost miraculously devoid of voyeurism and sensationalism, and that and I would agree with that. It doesn't just show these weird-looking people just for the sake of it being weird, but they try to sort of show that all these different people with various incapabilities or whatever, physical deformities, whatever the word is. I mean, their minds, they're all the same. They're just normal people, but they're just missing legs, or their face looks like that, or she's missing arms, but they're very normal people, and that's sort of what the documentary sets out to sort of show to you in a way. So while I did, but I mean, I don't think it's completely. Well, it does say almost miraculously devoid of voyeurism. I don't think it's completely devoid of that, because there is gonna be with something like this, there is always gonna be an aspect of that. But that's not why. So and that is, I'll be honest, that is why I bought it. But it's not why I ended up liking it necessarily. Also watched UHF, which was very enjoyable. The commentary is fun too, with Weird Al and the director, who he barely said anything in the commentary, but Michael Richards also appeared in the commentary for a short while, and it has a panel, San Diego Comic-Con panel from 2014, which was the 25th anniversary, the same year that this release was released from Shout Factory, I could mention. But the movie itself was funny for sure. I'll definitely return to this. But I do feel like I do think that Weird Al's character, I would have expected his character to be a bit better, or to be a bit stronger, or for him to do a bit more on camera. I felt like he didn't do a whole lot, and his character wasn't that memorable, which surprised me a little bit. I feel like the real star of this movie is Michael Richards. He has the most memorable character. Why do I stutter so much all of a sudden? I think it's because I don't make as many videos anymore, and I'm not as used to talking in English. All right. So I do feel like he was the sort of main star of the movie. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it was a good comedy, but. Maybe in some ways I would have expected more from it, but I did really enjoy it. It is very rewatchable, I'd imagine. And then this, Things to Come, I unboxed like a month ago, and just a very good drama. I feel like I've talked. I don't think I have, but I feel like I've talked about it. Why do I feel like I've talked about it? I don't know, but yeah, just a very good drama. Not really about anything more than life, to be honest, but sometimes it doesn't really take more than that. And then I've had this for a while, 40 Guns by Samuel Fuller. Not my favorite Western, but I have gotten more into the genre lately. I mentioned that in my last video, I think. So I had this on the shelf, so I just decided to watch it, and yeah, I thought it was okay, but I didn't love it. And then this, I could really talk about this for a long time. One More Time with Feeling. Really phenomenal documentary. I do wanna, I would like to talk more about this, but I'm just not gonna, because I don't have, it's just too long, this video by now, and I do feel like I want to wrap this up now. But this documentary blew me away. If you don't know anything about it, please check it out and read up on it and watch it. It was just phenomenal. And then for Studio Ghibli movies, these I unboxed recently. The Tale of Princess Kaguya and Arrietty. Very good, this. Extremely interesting ending. Yeah, not one of my favorites from Ghibli, but it might be one of their best. Very good. And Arrietty, much more accessible and enjoyable than Kaguya, which is a heavier film than this for sure. This is just pure entertainment. A very enjoyable movie. So I always love when movies about small people, like tiny people, like The Incredible Shrinking Man, or some scenes in Ant-Man where everything around them is just gigantic. I love that, and this is the only animated movie like that I've seen, I think. And there's a scene where, because they basically live under the floorboards in this house, and they're just tiny people, and their supplies, that they're called the Borrowers. This is based on, yeah, it says here, by Mary Norton's The Borrowers, and they are so-called borrowers because they live in this house, where normal people live, and in the night they to look for supplies and food and stuff. They venture out into the house to look for the stuff they need, and they're just borrowing a little bit at a time because they're so small and it's not going to be noticed. And there's the first scene where they go out on that adventure. It's her first time following her father on that adventure. It's so enjoyable, and I really like stuff like that. So that one I really enjoyed. And then I'll just show these real quick. I've seen these before, but I have a bunch of these Studio Ghibli Blu-rays that I haven't gotten to watch on Blu-ray yet, and these I watched recently. Nausicaa and Laputa. This one I am not a big fan of, to be honest. It's too action-like for my liking when it comes to anime. There's just a certain type of anime that I haven't really given it a lot of, much of a chance, but I feel like it's not really my cup of tea when it comes to anime. And this one, it's a very good movie, but it's not my favorite by Ghibli or by Miyazaki. This one is more my cup of tea. It's more family oriented, and it's more honestly, I don't know how to describe it, but I enjoy it more. This one I'd seen twice before, to be honest, and I just wanted to see it again. It was the first time I saw it. I saw it on Blu-ray, but so enjoyable. This one is really enjoyable. Oh right, and then I also bought the documentary for Princess Kaguya, which was very interesting. It's about Takahata making the film, and he comes across as a really lovely man, really pleasant man to listen to, and someone that I feel like I immediately respect him when he starts talking, which I guess is a compliment to him. But anyway, enjoyable documentary. But that's it. I don't know if this video is over an hour or what, but I think if you made it to the end, well, good job on that. And now I have to put all this stuff away, and and I never like doing that because it takes so long, finding the right place for everything and moving stuff around. And anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon.